They have waited more than 30 years for this day. Victims of 2 decades of internal conflict in Peru received the remains of 57 men, women and children recovered from mass graves and clandestine burial sites.
Forgive us for the violent acts against human rights. Forgive the state for not being there to assist your calls for help. Forgive us because public servants committed atrocities against their lives.
In 1980, the Shining Path launched a 20-year war against the state. Nearly half of the victims died here in Ayacucho. Most were among Peru's poorest Andeans. The army and the Shining Path carried out brutal killings. A forensic team worked for years to identify victims. Now families had a chance to verify the remains of their loved ones. Dionisia's pregnant mother, siblings, grandparents all died. The military killed 16 family members and disappeared most of the remains. Only Dionisia, her father and brother Alberto survived. And now, after 30 years, their little sister Miguelita has been identified.
It's so painful to remember that time, the killings of innocent children and pregnant women. It hurts to have no family.
2,800 remains have been given up by the ground and half of them returned to their families. But thousands of Peruvians are unaccounted for.
Many people know where remains are buried, but they are afraid to get involved in a legal process and fear for their security. If they could give information without a legal process, the investigations could speed up.
The United Nations Working Group on Enforced Disappearances says the state doesn't really know how many people remain disappeared. It doesn't have a map to locate the mass graves, and it doesn't have a policy to search for the disappeared. That's why families are demanding that the government passes a law that will help thousands of families like this one to find their loved ones. The family of Teodoro Guaman is one of 70 families in the tiny village of Quispicancha who have been looking for their dead for years.
We are happy. Now we are together with my mother and stepfather. We can visit them in the cemetery and will always remember them.
For this family now, there is some relief. One of the very few who says, after decades of pain, they can find some peace. Mariana Sánchez, Al Jazeera, Ayacucho, Peru.